So we have lots of news this week in Canon camera world, specifically a new firmware update, a few new lenses in the works, and a compact camera. And the question for Canon isn't whether they can make a fixed full frame camera, but should they? So let's jump in. So let's start by looking at the fixed full frame camera world and why Canon continues to sit this one out. Last week, Sony launched the RX1R III, a camera that many hoped would redefine the fixed lens full frame niche, but it's landed with kind of tepid reception, initially because of the price, as well as some of the missing features. Although on a video and photo quality standpoint, it seems to be getting very high marks. But it skips in-body image stabilization, it has a slower lens, and it sports a lower resolution viewfinder. Also, its LCD is static, it doesn't flip around, and it lacks weather sealing. And Sony says that these decisions were to keep the price affordable, even though it is over $5,000. Now, looking at the competition, Sony, Leica, Zeiss's EX1, and Fuji's rangefinder cameras, though that one is medium format, not full frame. So where's Canon in this market? History tells us that they've really never made a fixed full frame camera, and all signals point to saying that that's gonna stay the case now and in the future. Even with repeated questions, Canon's stance remains a firm no, without even the ambiguous Canon speak that sometimes hits at future projects. And while Leica's Q series has done an incredibly great job for Leica, the company's unique market position and pricing model kind of lets them thrive in that smaller segment at the top of the heap. And on paper, the Q3 still stands as the best in class. Now, there is chatter, and we've talked about it here on the channel, about Canon potentially releasing a retro-styled camera body down the line. And according to all available signals, such a Canon camera, if it appears, it wouldn't be a fixed lens full frame model. Instead, Canon's focus appears to be remaining in high volume, broader appeal products. As the indications that we have is that that would be an interchangeable lens camera, but we might see new fixed lens power shot models targeting photographers in the coming year. But that's as far as we know for now. So let me know down in the comments, do you think Canon should build a fixed full frame camera? I personally don't think so. I think that if you pair a smaller camera body with maybe a pancake lens, you get more bang for your buck. But let me know down in the comments what you think. Next, I want to highlight an industry move that potentially changes how freelance photographers like me build our businesses. Now, VSCO has acquired the Freelance Photographer, which is an online platform that's designed to help emerging photographers and videographers grow their skills and build a sustainable business. And according to VSCO's CEO, Eric Whitman, there's a critical gap in the market for business-focused training aimed at creative professionals. The Freelance Photographer fills that gap by providing business education and a supporting community. They also provide tools to help creatives secure long-term client relationships. The big draw there is the large, active community of successful freelancers who hold regular peer-led sessions to help new members build their careers. Now, Paul Weaver, who is the Freelance Photographer's founder, says that joining VSCO will help the platform scale, develop new tools, and create opportunities for its community. This acquisition is one piece of VSCO's larger strategy to kind of transform itself from a creative app into more of a professional hub that supports photographers from the enthusiast stage all the way to being a working pro. Key VSCO features like Hub, Sites, and Canvas now function as platforms for discovery, portfolio showcasing, and collaboration, essentially making VSCO a LinkedIn for photographers. I use VSCO products like their Lightroom presets, and I highlighted VSCO a few years back when I was talking about potential alternatives to Instagram, now that Instagram is more about video and virality and promotion. Now, membership in the Freelance Photographer platform is $2,500, and the next new enrollment window is opening up in August. Speaking of freelance photographers and videographers, I want to talk about the sponsor for this video, which is me. And unless I say otherwise, every video on this channel is backed by my photography business. YouTube ad revenue is nice, but it doesn't keep the lights on. I am a working professional photographer and videographer, and this is how I make a living. I specialize in portraits, events, weddings, and photo and video work for small businesses. Now, if you're in Las Vegas or Southern California and you need a professional to make you, your family, or your business look amazing, you can quickly book on my website. I offer free mini sessions as well as package and daily rates. Busy season's about to hit, so grab your spot before I'm fully booked. Next, let's take a detailed look at one of the most anticipated monitor recorders to hit the pro scene, the Atomos Ninja TX. Is it called the Ninja Texas? It has to be, that we have to call it the Ninja Texas now. So Atomos has just unveiled the Ninja Texas, calling it their most advanced Ninja ever. This is a significant upgrade, and compared to previous Ninja models, the Ninja Texas sports a 12G SDI and HDMI 2.0 inputs and outputs. It also has CF Express Type B cards and integrating cloud capability and Wi-Fi and AirGlue timecode technology for contemporary workflows. And all of this is built into a platform that is both lighter and more compact with improved thermal efficiency. You get support for all the major codecs like Apple ProRes, ProRes RAW, Avid DNX, and H.265, 264 right out of the box, plus a whole menu of resolutions and frame rates up to 120 FPS in Full HD, 4K 60, 8K 30, and the Ninja TX also offers Atomos' all-new Atom OS. So Atomos has Atomos on the Ninja Texas. Got it. This new OS is based on Linux for speedier over-the-air updates. It has a 5-inch screen and it can reach up to 1500 nits of brightness. And that is a 50% increase over previous Ninja models, ensuring outdoor visibility. And this is built on the technology from the Shogun Ultra, which the Ninja Texas is smaller, which is weird because I thought everything in Texas was bigger, but it doesn't skip high-end features. Its new rugged locking system keeps HDMI and USB-C cables secure in tough shooting conditions. It also ships with brackets and locking USB cables. Atomos CEO Peter Barber says the device is not just a refresh, it is a complete re-engineer. The case, the electronics, the heat management, all brand new. Recording directly to CF Express or USB-C drives allows for lightning-fast raw capture and extended shooting sessions. The monitor will ship at the end of next month and be priced at $999 US. Next, really quick, I just want to say thank you to everyone who participated in my recent Instagram giveaway. I'm putting together the gear list and I'll be announcing the live video for the giveaway soon. We just hit over 1,200 followers over on Instagram, 21,000 subscribers here on YouTube. None of this happens without you. The giveaway window is closed, but I'll be running promotions in the future, so keep an eye out. And if you want to continue supporting my work, I'd appreciate a follow over on TikTok or Facebook, where I'm still building up. Thanks again for the support. Now let's get back to the video. Now, for a quick important policy update that is posed to impact pretty much every camera brand, not just Canon, as well as other gear prices for creators, the US and Japan have agreed on a new trade pact, and in return for a $550 billion investment and loan package from Japan, the US will set tariffs on Japanese imports at 15%, which is down from the previously proposed 25%. Now, we still don't have a lot of details on the $550 billion, and I want to point to Jared Polin, who in his video talking about this particular news item really brought up the fact that there's nothing signed that we can see about the $500 billion investment. But what we do know is that the 15% is down from the previously expected or proposed 25%. But that 15% is still higher than the 10% that most Japanese goods were facing before, and could include products like automobiles and car parts. Now, Japanese stock markets rose to their highest levels in a year after the announcement, and Japan's trade minister emphasized that the investment package will benefit US sectors including technology and medical industries. Now, on the photo side of things, this is going to have a dual impact. The 15% tariff is worse than between 0 and 10%, but better than 25. It gives Japanese manufacturers some much needed stability and predictability, and that is the most important thing. It's not just about the number, it's about knowing that the number's not going to change. But still, consumers should know it's American buyers, not Japanese exporters, who are going to be footing the bill, as tariffs are paid by importers, which is then traditionally passed on to consumers when they purchase products. Now, we haven't yet seen any sort of announcement about how these companies will adjust their US pricing, but any price hikes or drops will now be in a more stable environment. Another update I want to share, sometimes we see kind of the simple gear not get a whole lot of light, but you've heard me talk about K&F Concepts on the channel before, and this isn't a sponsored segment. I like their gear. I feel like it hits a good price point to value kind of ratio, right? It feels really good. And so they've announced a new aluminum light stand, which is a staple for many photographers who value lightweight and durable support. I've got one here, I've got one here, I've got one here, I've got one here. I have 4 in this room alone, 4 aluminum light stands. And K&F's version is made from aluminum and magnesium. It only weighs 2 pounds and it offers a decent amount of durability and portability. It's got reverse folding legs that collapse down to 21 inches. And it can actually adjust from a minimum of 23.6 inches to a maximum of 86.6 inches and is rated to support up to 8.5 pounds. So that's more than enough for a speed light, an LED panel, a small strobe with a medium modifier. It's got quick release flip locks that make adjusting the height easy and fast, and it's got a 1/4 inch screw tip for broad compatibility. It also comes with a bag. Now, a bit of advice, as much as this stand is going to be super lightweight, which is great for carrying it, you need to sandbag any of your light stands or C-stands or anything that you're using to hold up gear really at all, anywhere. I've got a bag up here, I've got a bag down here, I've got a bag here, I've got a bag here. Like, you got to keep your stuff bagged. But I like K&F stuff, and I'm excited to see them enter this part of the market. Next, Canon's R50V recently got the Kalari Vision treatment as the company completely disassembled the camera to see what makes Canon's affordable video-centric mirrorless tick. The R50V launched earlier this year with a price point of $649, but is currently listed at $699 due to tariffs. At its core, the R50V is a video-oriented evolution of the R50, coming with a 24 megapixel APS-C sensor. Notably, it brings features from Canon's higher-end cinema models like Canon C-Log 3, 10-bit 422 video, and false color, while intentionally leaving out things like an EVF to streamline the body and keep the design for hybrid creators, focused on video. Kalari's Teardown revealed that the R50V is one of the simplest mirrorless builds that they've encountered. The camera features notably few screws and an easy-to-remove back. The circuit board secured by just a single screw. Once inside the case, there are 10 ribbon cables and just 7 screws to remove the frame bracket. That makes the board and sensor really easy to access. The sensor itself is held only by 6 screws, compared to the higher amounts often found in more expensive bodies like the R5 Mark II. Their experience with the R50V fits pretty well with their full spectrum camera conversion services starting at $299, a process that's now made considerably easier with the R50V's minimal internal complexity. For hybrid content creators looking to mod or repair their cameras in the future, this is a pretty straightforward design and could be a real advantage. Next, let's move to the lens world, where Lomography has just released 3 new Joseph, I love that guy's name, Pretzval art lenses. This is a major play for photographers who are hungry for artistic glass. All 3 models, the 35f2, the 55-1.7, and the 80.5 f1.9, all 3 models, the 35f2, the 55-1.7, and the 80.1.9, are all priced at $599 and are available for Canon RF, Nikon Z, and Sony E and FE mounts. Each lens delivers the kind of signature character of a Pretzval lens, known for dramatic swirling bokeh, and the 55-1.7 stands out with its stopless iris aperture, drop-in special aperture plates, and a focusing distance of 0.6 meters, as well as manual focusing, a 67mm filter thread, multi-coated glass elements, and anodized aluminum body. The 55 offers a field of view of 43 degrees and is constructed from 3 elements in 3 groups. As the 80mm delivers kind of medium telephoto, while the 80mm delivers that medium telephoto, say medium telephoto, delivered, beloved. Oh, why did I write this for myself? Bokeh, beloved by fortune. Yikes. The 80mm delivers bokeh that telephoto shooters love. All the models share multi-coated elements, manual focusing, and stopless apertures. Now, if you're a fan of lenses that deliver unique visuals, these may be worth exploring, especially at that $599 price. I'm always interested to hear if you use creative lenses for more than just portraits. I did a review just recently on the channel of the Brighton Star 50mm f.95 lens, which is just a super interesting lens. Go ahead and check that out. That's a crop sensor lens, but I'll go ahead and put a link to that here and down below. So as compact cameras have really, it seems, come to the top of the conversation, at least in photography, there's a question on a lot of people's minds is whether or not Canon is or has a plan for more compact cameras. According to Canon imaging business leaders, while the market for basic cameras has dropped dramatically as smartphone imaging has improved, Canon actually believes that there's a space to revitalize the segment by targeting mobile-first photographers who want greater creative control. Canon's executive VP and imaging head explained to Petapixel that the base for entry-level upgrades is now billions of smartphone users, not point-and-shoot users. And with the R50 and the R100 priced significantly below flagship smartphones, the company is betting that price, sensor size, and photographic flexibility will now put new users from phones into cameras. They point that touch interfaces, app integration, and small form factors are key strategies for making cameras familiar to phone-savvy users. Another Canon executive cited new products like the RF28-70 f2.8 IS STM and the RF16-28 f2.8 IS STM, basically their whole STM line, as being intended as more affordable, bright zooms and evidence that Canon is attempting to attract new creators without sacrificing image quality. Canon's real challenge is convincing a whole new generation that interchangeable lens cameras are worth the extra step. The hope is that better image quality will hook at least a portion of these first-time users and then turn them into future enthusiasts. And I agree with that perspective, as well as the idea that we need to see more mobile technology on the camera side. I'd like to see maybe more touch configuration, more customizability, more integration, apps, and more computational photography at least available. Maybe not automatic, but at least available if you want to use it. Next, we need to talk about firmware. There have been some stories about firmware in the last week or so. I reported on these last week when we talked about the upgrades for a number of Canon cameras, but there were some glitches, and Canon has recently addressed some hiccups with fresh updates for the flagship R1 and the R5 Mark II. Canon initially released the updates for both models, as well as a number of other models down the line, but had to pull them due to errors. And as of July 24th, both the R1 and the R5 Mark II have new firmware ready for download. On the R5 Mark II, the version is 1.1.1, and it brings automatic flicker detection at 100 or 120 Hertz in live view, improves image stabilization when used with compatible lenses, and expands servo AF for better tracking on subjects behind barriers, such as nets, a feature that was aimed squarely at sport shooters. There are also improvements to autofocus tracking for tricky video scenarios, as well as the ability to adjust the number of shots captured in pre-continuous shooting. Exposure simulation can also now be activated when using a flash unit. Importantly, the firmware adds compatibility for CF Express cards up to 8 terabytes, though updates cannot be performed from cards larger than 2 terabytes, though internet-based firmware updates are now enabled. So you might not have to worry about CF Express card size. Although, if you are using 8 terabyte CF Express cards, that would make me so nervous. The R1 shares almost all of these updates and also includes a panning assist feature that improves stabilization and subject blur correction when panning with compatible lenses. If you downloaded the previous update, Canon strongly recommends updating to the new versions to avoid potential problems. So let me know down in the comments if you've done these updates. Again, these updates are for more than just the R5 Mark II and the R1. There are these firmware over the internet updates for a number of other cameras, I think all the way down to the R50, as well as other general improvements. So check your firmware now. Wrapping up, let's talk about one of the more exciting lens rumors for Canon shooters, which is a new RF5 f1.4L VCM. Now, according to Canon rumors, this would be the 5th hybrid voice coil motor. That's the VCM L series prime lens to join the family. There's a 20, a 24, a 30, and a 50. Now, specs are still speculative, but early information suggests that a compact, lightweight form factor measuring about 76 by 99 millimeters and weighing about 519 and 580 grams. Compared to the existing RF8512, which is a beast of a lens, which is 1.2 kilograms, this is a huge change. The 1.4 aperture would be ideal for portrait and event shooters who need both subject isolation and versatility. But the VCM system is expected to deliver quieter, faster autofocus than traditional USM motors, especially if it follows in the footsteps of the 50mm that gave us those same updates. We don't have rumored pricing, but the f1.2 85 sits at about $3,000, and the 50mm VCM is at $1,500. So many are expecting this lens to come in more affordably than the ultra bright sibling. Now, manual focus versions, obviously, like the Rokinon 85 and the Samyang, they cost substantially less, but they lack native autofocus because Canon has not opened up the full frame RF mount. And so I want to rant for just 1 second here. This is my primary lens when shooting portraits. This is my 85 1.4. This is an EF lens. Now, there is an RF1.8. There is an RF1.2. There's not an RF1.4. And while I would appreciate an RF1.4, especially if it's cheaper than the 1.2, The VCM lenses are definitely hybrid lenses because they offer the voice coil. So they're gonna be phenomenally sharp, and the 1.4 is gonna give you great out of focus elements. It's gonna be fast because it's on RF, and it's gonna be, I'm sure, fantastic. And at $1,500, $1,800, $1,900, which is what I was expecting it to be at. That's a great price. This lens, when I bought it new, was I think about $1,300. And this lens does not have the VCM motor. This one has the ultrasonic motor, but this lens has image stabilization. And at 85 millimeters, I appreciate image stabilization. It helps quite a bit, honestly. And the new VCM motor based lenses, they don't have image stabilization. So I'm still waiting for a lens to replace this that doesn't cost $3,000, that has image stabilization, and that gives me the wide aperture that I like. So Canon, I'm still waiting. But if you're thinking about adding the 85 to your kit, would you go with the lighter, more affordable version, or would you go with the 1.2 flagship? Let me know in the comments. And as always, if you want to support what I'm doing here, consider becoming a channel member. It's $1. And if you're looking to book a photo or video session, all the details are below, including my free mini sessions, along with gear and deal lists, including everything I use to make my videos and anything that we've included in the video today. But as always, the easiest way to support me here on the channel is just to hit that like and subscribe button. It's free and it goes a long way to helping me out and helping the channel grow. Don't forget to find me over on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Instagram, we're over that 1,200 follower hump. We're doing so great over there. I'd love anyone who wants to find me over on TikTok or Facebook, as I can always use help growing there. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.